Here we are with SM Stirling, and I'm very glad to have you, Steve. So we talked in our podcast briefly about fiction must be plausible even if it isn't plausible in real life. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. Fiction has to meet a higher bar. It has to be believable. Real life just has to exist. I think I mentioned in the podcast that the American Civil War probably turned on 3 cigars with an order wrapped around them, falling out of someone's pocket, being picked up and then recognized. World War I started as a complete episode of the Keystone Cops with the assassination at Sarajevo because a car made a wrong turning and stalled in front of a cafe where one of the disappointed assassins was drowning his sorrows in lunch. History is full of that. Like Winston Churchill nearly died 5 or 6 times in the course of his life. He was in the charge of the 21st Lancers at Omdurman in 1898 and could have been hacked in pieces by a Mahdist. He nearly got run down by a car in the 1920s. He was deathly ill a couple of times. He fought on the Western Front in World War I, which was not a great environment for survival. Adolf Hitler was a battalion and company runner, which was one of the most dangerous jobs on the Western Front for 4 years. And the little bastard didn't get killed, although he was gassed towards the end of the war and was recovering in hospital when the war ended. And it's just like vanishingly unlikely that someone would do that job for 4 years and survive. And if you put that sort of thing in a book, giant civil wars turning on whether a message gets lost, whether or not someone gets run over by a car, someone being just like having the luck of the devil for 4 years in one of the most deadly environments human beings ever came up with, and the fate of nations and the whole people's turns on these little accidents, these coincidences, these people who meet or don't meet. And history is a tissue of implausibilities, and outrageous coincidences, and very unlikely things that do happen. But, if you know anything about statistics, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that very unlikely things do happen. The odds against having identical twins are about 1 in 1,000, but I've met some identical twins. So I think I'm entitled to use them as characters in my books.